I used to introduce myself as a perfectionist like it was a good thing. You know how we do it. In job interviews, my greatest weakness, oh, I am such a perfectionist. And I would say that with a little smile, like I'm confessing to being too wonderful. Let me tell you what perfectionism actually did. In 2015, I opened a YouTube channel to build something for myself. And my standards, my beautiful, professional, twice as good standards, it looked at what I could make with what I had and decided that it wasn't good enough to exist. So it didn't exist for about 10 years. And I've told that whole story in another video. So here I'll just give you the accounting. The perfectionism produced nothing. It protected nothing and cost me a decade of building. And here's the part that took me the longest to admit. Nobody did that to me. No hater, no gatekeeper, no economy. I was the common denominator. The standards were mine and the decade was mine. And one of them had to go. So today, I am sharing with you 11 changes that I made as a recovered perfectionist. And hear me on the word recovered, not cured. Recovered like it's practice, like I still catch my hand reaching for the very polished version. These are not a checklist, so you don't need all 11. So take what lands for you and leave the rest. But if you're a woman who's been sitting on something, a business, a YouTube channel that you want to start, a cake business, a comeback because it's not ready yet, baby, this list was made at your kitchen table. Let's go. And before the list, here's one framing so we're honest with each other. Perfectionism is not a quirk, it's a bill. It charges you in time, in money, in chances other people took while you were polishing. Mine charged me in decade. So as we go through these 11, don't hear self-help. Hear a woman choosing an expensive account. All right. Change number one, I publish at 80%. Done and out the door, it beats perfect and in my head every single time. My first video on this channel, it's still up. It's imperfect on purpose because here's the math that nobody taught us. The B minus thing that exists, it can grow, it can earn, it can get found and get better. The A plus thing that lives in your head, it earns exactly nothing forever. So 80% publish is 100% real. Okay, change number two. I decided what done looks like before I start, and I write it down because a perfectionist working without a finish line will just keep going forever, touching it, retouching it, tweaking it, improving it to the ground. Now, before I begin anything, I write one sentence. This is done when? This video is done when the 3 points that I wanted to make, they are clean. That's it. When I hit the sentence, I stop. Not when it feels perfect, because feelings are liar with a paintbrush. It is done when I match the sentence. And give yourself a done sentence for regular life too. Because perfectionism, it doesn't just stay in your business, it follows you home. The kitchen is done when the counters are clear, not when it looks like a magazine ready. The email is done when the ask is clear, not when I draft a literature. The budget is done when every single dollar has a name, not when the spreadsheet looks very beautiful. One sentence per thing, and watch how much of your life you are going to get back. Change number three, deadlines, they beat standards at my house now. I post every single week. And that promise is not really a content strategy. It's a perfectionism management for me. Because when the calendar says today, the polish has to stop. Today, a deadline is the only authority a perfectionist respects. So I give myself one that never takes a day off. You don't need a daily, but you need a date. Somebody besides your feelings is in charge of everything. So put the thing on a calendar and let the calendar be the boss of it. And if you needed a woman your age to give you permission to stop polishing, subscribe, because that's half of what I do here every single day. Quick word about who this is really hard for, because I know my audience. If you spent 30 years in workplaces where your mistake costs more than everybody else's, where you had to be twice as good just to be safe, then your perfectionism didn't come from vanity. It came from survival. It made sense there. I honor that. But baby, you're building for yourself now, and the rules changed. In your own business, hiding is the expensive thing, and shipping is the safe one. The armor that protects you at the job is the exact thing that is suffocating your dream. You're allowed to take it off now. Change number 4. I let people see the middle of things now, the messy part, the version that's still becoming. Old me waited to be seen until everything was finished and flawless, which meant old me was basically never seen. Which, if you saw my video about obscurity, you know it is the most expensive way for a woman to live. People don't actually connect with your finished. They connect with your becoming. The middle is not your shame. The middle is your show. Change number 5, I changed the question. The perfectionist question is this good enough? Which has no answer, by the way. That's why you can ask this question for 10 years. The recovered question is, who is this for? And does it help her? Because somewhere out there is a woman who needs the $50 cake version of your thing today. She's not grading your fondant. She's got a birthday on Saturday. When you work for her instead of the invisible judges, good enough gets a definition. And the definition is it serves her. That's the whole test. Change number 6, and this one has a receipt trail. I stopped buying preparation because listen, perfectionism doesn't always look like polishing. Sometimes it looks like responsible. Another course, another certification, another book about the thing instead of the thing. I told you my rule in another video. I only buy learning when the work I'm already doing points at a specific gap. Because a perfectionist with a credit card will study forever. It feels productive. Nobody questions a woman who's preparing. But preparation that you never use isn't investment. It's procrastination with a receipt. And let me show you how deep this one ran for me, because I have a receipt bigger than a bookshelf. First, understand what perfectionism does when you're comparing yourself to somebody. You start discrediting yourself. You discredit your own ideas. You discredit everything because you're holding it up against what someone else is doing. And the second their thing looks even 1 degree better than yours, you make it the new standard, the new thing to aim for, even if it was never what you wanted. Hear that again, because it's sneaky. Even if it was never what you wanted. So early in my days as a fitness instructor, there was a lady who had her own private studio, and I was aspiring to that, my own studio. So when I saw a certification she had, you know what I said. If she has it, I'm going to get it too. And I went on and got the whole certification, not because I wanted it, because she had it. It turned out to be an investment that was not a good investment for me. And not because the discipline was bad. I did not enjoy teaching it at all. And it was a headache to get the class booked anywhere because the discipline was so new. The gyms were thinking like businesses. If she's the only one in town who can teach this, what happens when she's sick? Who substitutes when she goes on vacation? And they weren't wrong. But me, I wasn't thinking business. I was thinking, oh, I got to be one of the few. And I was one of the few, all right? One of the few of something I wasn't even passionate about. Now, here's the twist. I ended up working for that lady. She's an amazing person, and we're still friends to this day. And working for her opened my eyes because everything I had been assuming from the sideline about having your own studio, 100% assumption. Up close, that studio came with challenges that I never saw from the outside. And I realized this is definitely not something that I want. The thing I bought a whole certification chasing, I didn't even want it. You know what I could have done instead? Asked, offered to substitute for her. Say, hey, this is something that I'm aspiring to. Can you give me some pointers? Which, by the way, she was happy to do in the end. That's the whole lesson right there. The comparison game is an assumption game. And every assumption is time that you're taking away from your own creativity, away from the thing that you're actually passionate about. I paid tuition to learn that. You just got it for free. And a practical trick for change 5 while I'm here, put one real woman in your mind before you make anything. Not an audience, one woman. I picture the one from my comments who's been laid off and scared and up at midnight watching. When I'm tempted to re-record a video for the fourth time because my hair did something, I ask, does the midnight woman care about my hair? She does not. She cares whether I show up today. Perfectionism serves an imaginary panel of judges. Recovery serves one real woman. So choose your boss. All right, change number 7. I make my mistakes in public and I leave them there. Old me deleted, hid, and re-recorded. New me corrected in the comments and keeps moving. I've mispronounced things. I've had to fix numbers. My early videos have audio my current self would wince at, and they are still up. You know what all that public imperfection cost me? Nothing. You know what it bought me? Trust. Because people don't trust flawless. Flawless is suspicious. People trust a woman who can be wrong, out loud, fix it, and keep building. Your mistakes are not evidence against you. Hiding them is. All right. Change number 8 and write this one down. I lowered the bar for starting and raised the bar for quitting. It used to be backwards. Starting required perfect conditions, the right equipment, the right season, the right mood, and quitting required almost nothing. One bad result, one rude comment from a stranger online, one flutter of doubt, I quit. Flip it. Starting now requires almost nothing. One small, ugly, doable version today, but quitting now has requirements at my house. Quitting needs evidence, multiple honest attempts, a real diagnosis, a better plan for the energy. Starting is cheap. Quitting is expensive. So price them correctly and your whole life reorganizes itself. And let me give you the quitting requirements for my house so change number 8 is usable tonight. Before I'm allowed to quit anything now, I have to answer 3 questions on paper. 1, how many honest attempts did I actually make? And were they attempts or half attempts? Number 2, do I know why it isn't working specifically, or am I just tired of it? Number 3, where exactly is this energy going instead? Because quitting into the couch is not a plan. If I can't answer all 3, I'm not quitting. I'm just flinching. And flinching is allowed. Baby, flinch away. Take the weekend. But flinching doesn't get to sign the paperwork. Okay, change number 9. I retired the word ready as a feeling anyway, because I waited years to feel ready and the feeling never came. It doesn't come. It's not coming for you either. And I mean that with love. So I changed what ready means in my house. Ready is not a feeling. Ready is a setup. It's the phone charge. It's the topic picked. It's the light in the room. Then we're ready. The feeling can catch up in the car. Scared and set up, it beats ready someday every day of the week. Change number 10, and this one goes deeper than work. So stay with me. I decided what enough looks like because perfectionism doesn't just polish your projects. It polishes your whole life, and the polish never ends. Let me take you back to when I was in corporate. All my friends were in corporate too, and it was always an upgrade. As we advanced in our careers, it was okay. I'm going to upgrade to a bigger house. I'm going to get a fancier car. I'm going to put my kid in private school. And if you weren't buying the bigger house, you were upgrading the one that you already lived in. I need a new kitchen. I need a new bathroom. I need a new deck. It was always something. We were always working for more stuff. But here's what nobody said out loud. Those upgrades, they were not free because the bigger house does not cost less. The fancier car, the service on a fancier car is more expensive. The tires, don't get me started on the tires. They are more expensive. Every upgrade needs more money to maintain it. So now you have to keep producing that same money or more forever just to hold up all the upgrades. That's the rat race right there. And they don't tell you the tires cost extra. And then look at what the race was costing in time. Some of us were commuting 3 hours round trip every single day to go to work. 3 hours commuting, 8 hours at work. That's 11 hours. And you're not sleeping a good 8 hours, be honest. Probably 5. So that's 16 hours out of your 24 hours gone. So you have 8 hours left for everything else. Take your child to the doctor, go to the grocery store, go to the doctor yourself, cook, spend time with your family. That's it. Rinse and repeat. Rinse and repeat. So I started asking a question that made everybody uncomfortable. What does enough look like? At what level do we get to say that's enough? And nobody could tell me, nobody could answer it. We were racing to the top, and I'm asking, when do we cross the finish line? And listen, sometimes we dress this whole thing up. We call the accumulating generational wealth. And I'm not doubting there are real benefits to that. But my question remained, how much is enough? Because none of it comes free, and somebody has to keep feeding it. The upgrades are not bad. Hear me. The upgrades are not bad. The question is, when do you cross the finish line? When do you start living? So I did the thing perfectionists never do. I defined done for my own life. I decided what success looks like for me. I decided what enough looks like for me. And that decision is one of the reasons that when I left corporate, I knew I wasn't going back. My friends were still talking about the bigger house. And as a good friend, you listen, but I didn't relate anymore. My finish line was already drawn. Theirs was still running away from them. And change 11, the one that holds the other 10, I treat recovered like a daily practice, not a diploma, because the perfectionism is not gone, baby. So every single day she shows up at my desk with her little clipboard suggesting one more take, one more pass, one more course, one more reason to wait. And every day I have the same conversation with her. I see you. I know you think you're protecting me, but we ship today. Some days she wins around, but she doesn't run the company anymore. And that's the whole recovery, not silence, just demotion. All right, here's the whole thing. Put it in your pocket, the short version. Ship at 80%. Define done before you start. And let a calendar outrank your feelings. Be seen in the middle. Work for her instead of the invisible judges. And stop buying preparation you will not use. No certification can substitute for asking a question. Make your mistakes in public. Make starting cheap and quitting expensive, and retire ready as a feeling. It's a setup. Decide what enough looks like for you, for the work and for the life. And draw your own finish line and practice recovered every single day, because the clipboard lady never fully leaves. She just gets demoted. Let me tell you the truth I found at the bottom of all this. My perfectionism was never really about excellence. It was fear wearing excellence clothes. As long as nothing was ever finished, nothing could ever be judged. As long as I wasn't ready, I couldn't fail. The standards weren't protecting my work. They were protecting me from being seen. And they did that job perfectly for 10 quiet, expensive years. So if you're out sitting on something because it's not ready, hear this from a woman on the other side. The version of you that ships the imperfect thing is not lowering her standards. She's finally aiming them at what matters. Done is not the enemy of excellent. Done is how you get there. One shipped, flawed, real thing at a time. You don't need permission to start over. And I'm going to keep saying that. You need a second birth. And second birth, baby, they are not tidy. Nobody's is. That's how you know it's real. Now tell me in the comments, and I read every single one. Which number are you stealing first? Just the number is just fine in the comment. And if you want me to go deeper on any one of these 11, tell me which, because I will absolutely make that video for you. And if the thing you've been polishing forever is a second income, my exact process opens in September. And it's going to be $97. Waitlist at the top of the description, founding price for the women on the list. Shipped at 80%, by the way. That's how I know it's real. Subscribe if this is your season, and I'll see you in the next one.